Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ramadan Mubarak. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to our program on the healthy Muslim in Ramadan. My name's Dr. Amina. I really look forward to continuing my journey with you. I want to talk today about the Fiqh of fasting in Ramadan. I'm not a scholar, so please forgive me any major mistakes, which I'm sure will be corrected. But as an ordinary Muslim who has tried to understand as much as I can, fasting is a seriously important part of your spiritual life. And I hope I will help you to look at it from the perspective of a physician, what you can learn about your body, how to keep it healthy from the deprivation that is associated with fasting. It's a reverse way of learning, which is very strange. All religions have fasting at their core. This is not a super diet. This is about your spiritual life. There is, as far as I can tell, no religion that does not have fasting. I have a very sweet Tibetan nun, and she and I share a lot of understanding about what is contained in fasting, in a treasure of understanding. As a Catholic, I used to fast. Actually, the Catholics kind of gave up fasting properly. In the medieval times, they did a proper fast like the Muslims do. But gradually fasting has been eroded as a spiritual practice, and fasting has now become abstaining. In other words, I think I won't eat chocolate in Lent, or I'll give up alcohol. It's a benefit, but it's not the same thing as fasting at all. The Jews have a very impressive fast, which is 24 hours without water or food. Really tough. But that isn't every day. And there's a wisdom in our fast, having to do it day after day, because the lesson gradually gets learned. And there are many lessons, which I hope we will explore together. There's a lot of tradition indicating that fasting is good for us. Abu Huraira said that the Prophet said, "Every action of the son of Adam is for him, except fasting, for that is solely for me. I give the reward for it." We fast for Allah only. Anything else you do, you can think of for your benefit. Perhaps I'm contradicting myself, because I've just said that in fasting, you're going to learn about the value of your body. So there is a benefit to you, but the main benefit comes from Allah in terms of your understanding of who you are in the presence of your Lord. Al-Bukhari said, "He leaves food, drink and desires for my sake. His fasting is for me. I will give reward for it. And for every good deed while fasting, he will receive the benefit of 10 similar to it." So that hadith from Al-Bukhari shows it's hard for us to fast and to do a good deed, to think of other people when you're absolutely legless with fatigue, incredibly irritable, and so on, that somebody's watching and somebody's tallying up the brownie points that you're going to get at the end of the day. You won't remember, but your angel will remember, and your angel will tell Allah. Abdullah ibn Amr said, "The fast and the Quran are two intercessors for Allah on the day of resurrection. The fast will say, 'O Lord, I prevented him from his food and desires through the day. Let me intercede for him.' The Quran will say, 'I prevented him from sleeping at night.'" So you see how important it is for us to be taken away from the celebration of what it is to be human, to be more thoughtful. We have to deny ourselves sleep, food, drink, energy, in order to become God conscious. This is part of our spiritual training, and that's the essence of who we are. Abu Umama said to the Prophet, I like Abu Umama, he's somebody like me. He's not terribly far on the spiritual path, and he wants it simple. He wants just something he can do so that, you know, he'll scrape in by the back door. Read some of these hadiths. These are good people, and they represent the ordinary people that we are. He said to the Prophet, order me to do a deal which will allow me to enter paradise. Good call. Thank you. Thank you for saying that, and thank you. I'm really happy it got recorded so the rest of us can benefit from the answer. The answer from the Prophet was, stick to fasting. There is no equivalent to it. After a bit, Abu Umama comes back. He's sort of saying, is there anything else that might be a bit easier? He didn't say that, but I'm wondering if that was his motivation in coming back, asking again, is there something I should do to get to paradise, just in case there was something a bit easier? And the answer was, stick to fasting. Huge wisdom for a person who's looking for life to be simple. The fast of Ramadan is, however, not an option. The fast of Ramadan is incumbent upon every Muslim. It's what we sign up for when we say Shahada. Now, I volunteered my Shahada. For some of you, the Shahada was whispered into your ear when you were born. But either way, we renew our Shahada every time we pray. Every time. And every time we pray, we remind ourselves of the rules of what it is to be a Muslim. In Surah Al-Baqarah, right at the beginning, Surah Al-Baqarah contains the entirety of what it is to be Muslim. O you who believe, fasting is prescribed for you, as it was prescribed to those before you, in order that you gain God consciousness. The month of Ramadan, during which the Quran was revealed, a guidance for mankind, and clear proofs of the guidance and the criterion, and whoever of you is resident, let him fast the month. Essential. You can't get out of it. No options. Actually, there are some options. We'll explain them later. But we should long for Ramadan. As a new Muslim, I didn't. Actually, I did the Ramadan fast before I became Muslim because I was attracted to the people of Islam and how they conducted themselves. I didn't think I wanted to become Muslim, but I did notice that the fast of Ramadan was core to the belief of a Muslim. So because Catholics have gone a bit soft on Lent, I thought I would fast the month of Ramadan, and I was given permission from a very wise woman who said anyone can fast the month of Ramadan. There is benefit for anyone, not just the Muslims. Assalamu alaikum, welcome back. We were talking about fasting in the month of Ramadan. The fast in Ramadan is a really serious issue. It is one of the pillars of your faith. If you are able to fast and you have no health problems and you do not fast, you're not a Muslim. You might be a good person, but you're not a Muslim. The benefits of this month are awesome, and it is crazy for a person on a spiritual path not to seriously know how important it is to avail yourself of what is out there as credit for following the month of Ramadan. Abu Huraira said, "The blessed month has come upon you. Allah has made fasting during it obligatory for you. During it, the gates of paradise are opened, the gates of hell are closed, and the devils are chained. There is a night during the month which is better than 1,000 nights. Whoever is deprived of its good is really deprived. I would say lost out big time. Don't go there. This is serious." He continues, "Who fasts the month of Ramadan with faith and seeks Allah's pleasure and reward will have all his previous sins forgiven." Wow. If you're like me and you get to Ramadan, you bring with you quite a lot of stuff that you would dearly like to be taken away from you as things you wish you hadn't done in the last year. I wish I could say that I could bring to each Ramadan better success stories, but I'm human. I don't. But I trust the fast of Ramadan as a great lesson for me, as well as a great benefit. There's also a subtext which is also something to make you pay attention. Again, in both Abu Huraira and Bukhari, whoever breaks the fast of Ramadan without having one of the excuses that Allah would excuse him for, then even a perpetual fast, if he could fast it, would not make up for that day. That is how important the benefit is. So please, with a light heart and a strong will, join us in the month of Ramadan together as we understand how much blessing we are in for if we are able to do this right. So what is happening in Ramadan? We start with the sighting of the moon. The moon appears in different countries at different times. And at the time of the Prophet, they were sophisticated people. They drew from the knowledge and wisdom of astronomers everywhere. And they knew that there would be, if the people who were traveling, by then the Arabs were great travelers, that they would have Ramadan at different times in different countries. There is an enormous amount of fiqh about the detail of how you sight the moon, and it has to be a visual sighting. There is what second-hand knowledge may you accept, whether that second-hand knowledge applying to another country is acceptable. What about the wisdom of the different length of fasting in different countries? The fasting in the Arab countries is more or less the same every year, and its temperature and climate is more or less the same. In the West, in England, our temperature and climate changes from winter to summer, and our length of fasting changes. What is it like fasting a year in, or shall we say a cycle, which might be 25 years, in the Western countries, compared to a cycle in Arabia? Do you learn more? Do you learn different things? I think this is something to be discussed. Certainly, I know that I was grateful for the shortness of the fast in winter compared to the length of my first fasting before I was Muslim, where I sat under the tree for 4 hours in a state of semi-consciousness. But then I kind of regretted the fact that fasting was such a short time. It didn't feel I'd earned any benefits at all. That there was something rigorous about having to fast a long time that gave me a sense of self-satisfaction. That, of course, is the ego, and I'm sure I laid myself open to many mistakes that I might have committed in terms of being short-tempered because the fast was so difficult. So all of these things we must bring to our discussions about the traps as well as the benefits of how we behave during the fast of Ramadan. Once we know the time, and the time is very precise, we must learn to respect the anchoring of the exact time of the breaking of the fast and of the beginning of the fast. Not everybody is good at time management. Some people are brilliant. The Queen of England is amazing. The Queen will arrive on time for everything, not 5 seconds early and not 5 seconds late. If she says she will be there at 10, you will hear the knock on the door at exactly 10. That is the discipline of a monarch. When you watch it, when she is doing a rather interesting ceremonial called the Trooping of the Colour, she gets on a horse in Buckingham Palace. She walks on the horse, on horseback, down a long road called Pall Mall. She turns a corner into a road. She then goes into a courtyard. She goes round the courtyard. She brings her horse to a stop under a clock. The horse will make its last pace on the last count of 12. Exactly. That is the Queen of England. If the Queen of England can be respectful of the ceremonial which respects her country, we must be respectful of the precise time by which Allah guides us in this fast for Him, when we start our fast and when we finish our fast. The exact time matters. Now, this can be difficult. I might be with a patient and I can't interrupt my consultation with the patient because my respect for the wishes of the patient overrides. And my patients are sometimes a little surprised because as I'm talking to them, I will suddenly take a sip of water and eat a date. And if they do look a bit surprised, I will explain to them, I'm sorry, I have been fasting for Ramadan and I must break my fast because it's time. And I have not yet found one person who was not absolutely delighted to share with me the barakah of that moment. So no one, a surgeon in the middle of an operation, can find a way of getting a sip of water. An engineer on a project, everybody who's still working, you can still break your fast on time. And it's important. Having broken your fast, the immediate next thing you must do is your intention. Intention is everything. Without intention, you're doing a fast to feel important. You're doing a fast because you want people to see what a good person you are. You want your family or the people in the mosque to see that you're a great guy and you've clearly been fasting and aren't you special. Your ego will consume all of the real point of fasting, which is to be a servant of Allah. If you don't make your niyyah, who are you fasting for? And that is scary, because as soon as you don't have real intention, other people will come in to grab the benefit that is due to you from Allah. Of course, you'll learn things, all sorts of good things will happen to you in Ramadan, but that's not what it's about. You're fasting for Ramadan in order to get the barakah from Allah. Next, we will be looking at the reasons why you may not be able to fast.